We're following big developments out of Washington tonight. The clock now ticking towards a government shutdown. The government never really shuts down at the end of the week. I'll explain. Also, Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen was unbelievable on Capitol Hill today. Here to break it all down from the White House, Fox News Chief National Correspondent, our friend Ed Henry. Big day on Washington today.
Sean,
the government never fully shuts down, right, Ed?
That's right, Sean. And look, there's a battle that's brewing about this, but that hearing you mentioned, it was supposed to be contentious because it was going to be all about President Trump's plan for a wall on the southern border, but instead it blew up over what the president said or didn't say last Thursday at that contentious meeting here at the White House over immigration. Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen, as you mentioned, held firm in saying that last Thursday she did not hear the president utter that expletive, leading Democrat Cory Booker to charge that her silence and amnesia made her, in his words, complicit in the president's comments. Now, Nielsen clearly trying to pivot and change the narrative and send a signal to the president's base that he's all about not words but action, by saying he's taking action to crack down on illegal immigration. The secretary announcing today the administration is talking to federal prosecutors about launching criminal charges against local officials in sanctuary cities that refuse to follow through on federal orders to deport criminals. Also new today, the Department of Justice revealed it's going to try and go directly to the Supreme Court to fast-track its appeal of a federal judge's ruling that new DACA applications can start up. Republican Lindsey Graham, meanwhile, charged all that's a dramatic turn from 1 week ago today when the president gathered both parties in the cabinet room, you see it there, and said he wanted a deal where he would take care of the DACA kids with love while also tightening border security. But Graham charged that last Thursday morning around 10 a.m., he and Democratic Senator Dick Durbin called over to the president to read him out on a bipartisan deal they were putting together. But by the time they made it to the Oval Office around noon, someone on the White House staff, Senior Advisor Stephen Miller or someone else, had convinced the president to turn against a deal. Graham today lashed out about that.
Something happened between 10 and 12, and I like Secretary Nielsen. She's a nice person. And we'll get to the bottom of this, but here's what's going to matter. How does it end? How does it end? Does it end with the government shutting down? We cannot do this with people in charge at the White House who have an irrational view of how to fix immigration.
But new tonight, a senior administration official fired back to me that is not how it played out. This official said Graham and Durbin, in his words, begged for an Oval Office meeting to present their own deal that went around a framework that House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy had been working on. This official declared that Graham, quote, tried to sabotage the framework. Nobody knew what was in the damn plan, this person said. The president was frustrated and hit Graham with questions, and Lindsey had no answers. The president shut him down. So the bottom line is it's gotten very contentious on immigration, leading to questions about will this lead to a government shutdown? As you noted, that's unlikely to happen. And in fact, a top official here at the White House tonight told me they're willing to call the Democrats' bluff. If the Democrats are willing to shut down the government over a clean bill on DACA, this White House is prepared to let Democrats do that, Sean.
And the government never shuts down. Essential employees stay in place. Other people get a furlough. Then they get all their money back on a free vacation. That's just the facts. Ed, thanks so much. We appreciate that reporting. Fox News national security strategist Sebastian Gorka joins us now, as well as the author of the brand new best-selling book. It's called The New American Revolution, The Making of a Populist Movement. RNC spokesperson Kayleigh McEnany is with us. One thing I will say about what Ed was just discussing, I know Dick Durbin called the president. I know Dick Durbin said we have a deal. But Dick Durbin only had a deal with Lindsey Graham. Nobody else was in the deal. And then Lindsey Graham and Dick Durbin, Dr. Gorka, they come out with their statement, then contradicted by other people, so I wasn't there.
Well, we all know Dick Durbin's rather elastic relationship with the truth. At the end of the day, it's a very simple equation. We have half of the congressmen and women on Capitol Hill who will do whatever it takes to block this president. And let's just translate that into what it means in terms of policy. They don't want to secure the border. They don't want to reform immigration. They want to maintain this Russian roulette of the diversity lottery. They want to maintain chain migration. Remember the New York attacker on the bicycle path, a terrorist that was able, through chain migration, to sponsor 23 people to come into this country. And let's go even further. Tax reform. How many Democrats voted for tax reform, Sean? None. It comes down to this. We have one party, the DNC, that wants Americans to suffer. All the good things the president has done, they are trying to block. And at the end of the day, it's un-American.
And Kayleigh, the deal was really simple because 5 years ago, a lot of these same Democrats are on record saying we've got to secure the border, voting for 700 miles of the wall, which the president wants 5 years ago. They're such hypocrites. Then we're going to end chain migration, which there's a big report out by the Department of Homeland Security. That's where a lot of our problems come from in terms of security in this country. And also, they wanted merit-based immigration policies. The Democrats don't want DACA because they want it as an issue in 2018. Isn't that what's really going on?
That's exactly right. They want to run on this in 2018. And you're so correct to point out their hypocrisies. They once cared about the border. They do no longer. But you know what? I want to say to Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi, you sit on that cozy little congressional platform deriding the Trump administration for wanting to secure the border. Have you sat across from Susan Oliver, from Jessica Davis, who lost their police officer husbands to an illegal immigrant who crossed the border not once, but twice and had multiple felonies, and who today, Sean, in a court in Sacramento said, I wish I could have killed more of those beep expletives. That's the type of people we're dealing with here, and they can sit on their cozy perches, but there's a human toll to the policies you implement from on high.
All right, let me go back to Dr. Gorka. You know, we have what is told to me will shock the conscience of America in terms of what the House Intel Committee has in their possession. We've got to get it out. Adam Schiff raced tonight to say, Steve Bannon would talk about this. And I'm like, is he allowed to do that? Dianne Feinstein leaks Fusion GPS, all the testimony. Imagine if Devin Nunes did it, what the reaction would be. And then you see the media hysteria. Oh my God, the president's healthy and he doesn't have early onset and he doesn't have dementia, and they like had a fit today.
As my good friend who has the best radio show in D.C., Chris Plant, says, if the left wing didn't have double standards, they'd have no standards at all. What is it about the last 11 months that these people don't like? Are they against making this nation safer? Yeah. Are they against the 2600 Dow rally? It makes no sense. It's just politics for the sake of politics. Right. But the good news is Americans see through it.
Thank you, Dr. Gorka. Kayleigh, congratulations on the book. It's doing so well for you. And